Раз, два, три.
Okay.
Я могу не смотреть, я буду...
Да,
когда
вот правда.
смотреть.
Просто начни.
Okay.
А знаешь что? Давай.
Можно я сяду, как мне удобно?
Да,
Это мне так неудобно.
сядь, как тебе удобно.
So, if I talk about my experience as a girl in Pakistan, and I come from a very urban city, a metropolitan city, so the only pressure which I feel has affected me in so many ways is the pressure of being perfect and the pressure of being what people will think if I do something wrong. So growing up, my parents always had a reputation of being very respectful in the society. My mother was a teacher, she's still a teacher, and my father also had a very good reputation. So which is why our personalities were shaped based on what their personalities were. So we were always like I have one sibling, so we were always under the pressure of being the perfect kid. Like we can't go wrong. We just can't be wrong. So we have to be like uh, we have to be excellent in whatever we do. And even if by mistake, because you are children, you like fun, you want to do silly things, and you do it, then there would come a time at home when our parents would tell us that you did this, and now what the society will think about us.
I come from Hork, Tajikistan, but I was raised in Dushanbe, and my family, my family is now religious, and they're not obsessed with the culture, Pamiran culture. And I didn't face any cultural problems until I moved to Hork. I think it was 7 years ago. Misunderstandings came from misinterpretation of our own culture. For me, culture is something that you carry on and you remember and you celebrate it. But for my people in Horog, it was something that you need to do every day. And because the way I was dressed up, the way I was talking, the way I did whatever I wanted to do, and they didn't want me to do this because culturally you need to be good girl.
I was born in this society where I often heard, and especially from boys, you're a girl, and that's not the behavior which is expected from you. You have to be soft. No bad words should come out from your mouth. No cursing. You should be able to do everything like cooking, sewing, raising kids. And you have to be beautiful. But at the same time, you should not show much in terms of your feelings and your body. At home, my parents, they have never deprived me the freedom of choosing what to do, what to wear, where to go. And I like that feeling. I like the feeling of freedom. And that's why I decided for myself that I will not let anyone to dictate me how should I live my life. I decided that my life will be the way that I want to. But you know what? I do follow some of those things. Because I think that for me it's better to be soft. Because there is more power in it than just taking things by force. And I love cooking. I will cook well if that is something that makes my people, my husband, my parents, my sister happy.
I can say that society, community, and family as a person grown up does impact the future and the prospects and the view of a person. And for instance, if I speak about myself, it's not that all of a sudden I decided, for example, to get higher education and to, for example, come to the education field and continue with this. My family and used to, and they do support me as well in terms of my education, in terms of my professional growth, and my father is the main person who's been guiding me, even with choosing my major of international relations, and he was the one telling that, because he didn't get his education, and he was like, okay, this is like your turn, and I believe you can do it. So, and that's how I decided for myself and for maybe my siblings as well, and for my friends. Whenever I see them, I meet them, I emphasize that this life is about getting to know and growing in terms of everything. Like, it can be education, professional growth.
I think society, of course, has an impact on formation of individuals, and I notice it in my community, especially as it's small. I can't remember right now from my personal life when society had a negative impact on me, and that caused a limitation of something for me, but I can bring an example from my family. And when I was close to graduate the school, uh, I always wanted to become an engineer, and however I was not good at drawing, and I worked upon myself. I tried to create a kind of art atmosphere for myself. However, it was difficult because honestly my family didn't support it. My mom did, more or less, but in general my family didn't do so, and it dismotivated me. There was some issues happened which forced me to give up, and it took me a year to think I can't be engineer or whoever I wanted to be now, and I have to choose another major.
Because I was wearing whatever I wanted to, culturally it was not accepted, and I was not accepted, and I was called slut, and I was called jalap. That's what the Pamiri called people who are not accepted by the society, girls who are not accepted by the society, and they think that she sleeps with everyone and she's just down for everything. And my culture accepted me, but the people who were carrying the culture, they didn't accept me, because the way they interpret the culture is different than I do. And for me it was hard to, it's still hard to understand the mindset of my people, and it breaks me because when I understand that my own people do not accept me, I ask myself question, where do I belong then?
I don't know, am I excusing myself, or that is really what I want? Maybe still the society and the mentality that I always try to go against is affecting me, and it is there. Even if I resist it, I cannot go against it like fully.
The other thing is that being a girl and being the first child in the family, my father always wanted me to be successful. He doesn't force me for like marriage or something else. He always asks me what I want to do. But then there comes a point where he wants me to be successful. He doesn't want me to like go through difficulty or pain or struggles. He just wants that you are settled, you have a life, and it's good, and you are happy with it. In our family, mostly people are from economics background, and my father kind of started off forcing and convincing me into doing charter accountancy, going into a finance background. I don't get finance at all. Like, no. My mind just doesn't go with it. And that time I felt the pressure and I was like, I am being forced to do something I don't want to do. That was the time I told my father that I don't want to do it, and I decided to join computer science.
Whereas my friend, a really good friend, she got married just because her family was like pushing that pressure from relatives, those questions and the comments, and then she finally got married. But unfortunately, she's divorced right now because now she's been telling, and I see that that decision was made not because she wanted to get married, but that decision was made because, uh, like in Kyrgyz culture, if you are above 20, you are already considered as an old lady, and people start questioning whether you will get married at the end.
My dad said to me, you should be independent and don't let other people to go and ruin your life, and don't rely on them to solve your problems. He has 4 daughters and he treats them as he would do with his son. Maybe that's why I always thought that I'm my dad's son, and I never thought that there is something that is for men and not for me as a woman. And my dad indirectly taught me that you should have empathy for other people, but at the same time don't show your feelings a lot. And he also taught me to work hard. Even if you're a girl, you should work hard for the things that you want and be patient for the results to come. And he taught me that the fairness of the process is always more important than the outcome. I'm really grateful to my dad because he gave me the sense of independence. And my mom, who always gave me choices. That's where I decided that I will be the kind of girl who will pay for her own bills. Even if, like, now I'm still financially dependent on my parents. I do not allow the thought that in the future I will be sitting at home and my husband will be just taking care of me, because I believe that I have things to offer to the world. And just being a good mother and a good wife is not the only role for me.
I liked, after some time, I liked law and history and decided to become a lawyer, but that was another failure in my life when my family didn't agree. And I even started to prepare and found a college in Russia. I decided to apply, and I wanted to apply for a custom, and I wanted to become a custom officer, but according to opinion of people in my society, women who are working in police or custom office, they don't have kind of a good behavior and their reputation is not good. My father said that you will not study custom. I was shocked, and it took me 4 years to take my time and reshape myself and find another way to rebuild my career.
As a kid, first time living in Horog by myself without parents, I felt like I was breaking down because I was crying. I had so many problems. with the society and with my classmates, and that is why I became the person I am now, who stands for herself and who stands for people who cannot protect themselves against the Pamiri society. And overall, our society is not bad; it's good, but the way they're very conservative, and it partially comes maybe from the religion and from the culture.
To all the girls, if you think that you really want something, don't let the society dictate you that you can't do it or that's not for you. Because at the end of the day, that's your life and your decisions, and nobody will leave it for you. And that's why don't let men to take things, positions, places that you deserve to have. Fight for it. Go for it. Because that's yours and that's what you want.